We're gathered today to recognize the impact and the accomplishments of members of our ANR community. Before we honor our alums, our friends, and our faculty, I need to acknowledge the recent incident that took place on our beloved campus at Michigan State University. Like many of you, I grew up on the campus as a Spartan of over 30 years. I am deeply saddened by the violence that our community has experienced back in February. My heart is with everyone impacted by the tragedy, especially the students who lost their lives and those who were injured. Spartans everywhere have been affected by this tragedy, and I'd like us to all pause for just a moment in recognition and in remembrance. Even in the midst of shock and sadness, our spirits were uplifted by the outpouring and by the support our community experienced from alumni, from friends, from our valued partners. It has meant so much to us. While in our classrooms and research spaces, it's safe to does not return to normal. I know we're having some audio issues, so I'm looking back at get this out. In the meantime, I'll use my outside voice. But I believe that we truly honor the lives of those that we lost by continuing in our shared work. The unique place that the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources occupies as the founding college and the world's premier land-grant university means that we always strive to acquire high-impact knowledge and to share all of that with the rest of the world. And what we will continue to do in good times as well as in hard times. This is the sense of purpose that makes the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources Spartan so special. We live our mission every single day, in places near and in places far. And every one of you in this room is a part of that legacy. I hope you'll sit in that for just a second and realize how important your contributions to that legacy are, have been, and will be. We're about to hear about the college's community and what makes the world a better place. In our farms, forests, fields, even on the highest mountaintops. Thank you all for all of the work that you do and for joining us and allowing us to honor some of our own. I now have the privilege and the pleasure of introducing Lisa Woodkey, President of the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources Alumni Association. Lisa is a college graduate from the College of Ag and Natural Resources with a degree in agribusiness management from the Department of Agricultural, Food, and Resource Economics. Lisa also serves as a Sustainability Director for Star of the West Milling in Frankenmuth. Please join me in welcoming Lisa.
Thank you, Dean Millenbaugh. I am honored to host our annual award presentation. It's so wonderful to see each of you in person, and we also appreciate those who are joining us virtually. I always enjoy coming back to MSU. Each year, the College Alumni Association recognizes alumni and partners in several different categories for their outstanding work, advocacy, and service to agriculture and natural resources. For those here in person today, I encourage you to scan the QR codes at your table with your smartphone to learn more about each of today's recipients through the online program. You may also send notes of congratulations to our award recipients using our online kudos board linked from the same program. We are dropping the link in the chat for those of you joining us virtually. I am happy to present our first award, which is the Distinguished Faculty Award. We have two honorees this year. Our first Distinguished Faculty Award winner is Dr. Christina DeFonzo, a professor in the MSU Department of Entomology.
I'm George Bird, and I nominated Dr. Chris Stefanzo for the Distinguished Faculty Award. Well, I think it is Chris's personality, okay, that has allowed her to excel in all three of these responsibilities. And I've spent many hours traveling with Chris throughout Michigan for various extension meetings, and I can say that she is highly respected by her fellow faculty members, by the extension educators outstate, and by the entire agricultural community.
Insects are easy. I mean, they move and they do interesting things, and they've been around for millions of years. So everything you can dream up, an insect probably will do that. So I think it's really easy to engage an audience and tell stories about insects. I always joke it's harder for a plant pathologist to explain why they should get exciting about a fungus that they can't see, but insects, they're everywhere. Every now and then, again, teaching an extension, I'll get random emails from students from years ago, or I'll see them at an extension meeting, and now they are an adult with a job, and they come up and tell me there's something that they remembered or learned, and they're always using it, and that is really gratifying.
Congratulations, Dr. Stefanzo. Our next Distinguished Faculty Award winner is Dr. Donald Dickman, a professor emeritus in the MSU Department of Forestry.
Hi, I'm Rich Kelly, and we nominated Dr. Don Dickman for the Distinguished Faculty Award. He has an outstanding record of teaching and research. He has over, I think, some 70 publications, books, and technical publications that he's done during his career. And he's also taught, just a variety of forestry classes at Michigan State. As an alumni on the alumni board, I hear from students and they talk about taking classes from Dr. Dickman. They remember him, and of course I do too. He was hired in 1973, and I started my master's program in 1974, and so Dr. Dickman was my major professor. We were a perfect fit. He's very widely recognized as a high-level person and professor and knowledgeable person.
The emphasis is more broad, I would say, and more environmentally focused. We're not just about harvesting trees and getting the timber out anymore. It's about a whole lot more than that. Sustainability, of course, is the watchword in forestry these days. I always enjoy hearing from former students. It's makes me feel like I did something right, that I was part of the training of these people. They went out and made a career of themselves, did good work, succeeded, and now they're toward the end of their career, and some of them retiring. Often, many of them who've done very well are contributing back to forestry in terms of scholarships and awards of various kinds.
Congratulations, Dr. Dickman. Thank you for all of your work and dedication to the college for the past 4 decades. Next, I have the pleasure of introducing our Alumni Service Award. This person is recognized for their service that goes above and beyond. This year's Alumni Service Award goes to MSU Agricultural Engineering grad Keith Tinsey, Director of Operations for Black Gold Farms and President of the American Society of Biological and Agricultural Engineers.
Hello, my name is Tim Harrigan. I nominated Keith Tinsey for the Alumni Service Award. Keith is always ready for a challenge, and he does it in a way that builds community and collaborative relationships. His engineering knowledge has made major contributions to the Michigan potato industry, both in extending the life of the crop and in service to the industry both nationally and internationally. He's always willing to help. He's always willing to help solve problems, bring people together, and that's his method, that's his process, building community, building collaborative relationships, and getting people to work together. And his list of success in that area is long and impressive.
My family and all the people I've ever been around with have always inspired me to help and to give back. From Port Hope FFA to Huron County Farm Bureau. When I came to Michigan State, I couldn't farm with my dad because I have allergies, so dairy farming wasn't in the mix. I came to Michigan State. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but this agricultural engineering department embraced this farm kid and molded me and gave me a platform, a launching pad, if you will, to go on and do great things. I stand on the shoulders of everyone I've ever been around, and I really appreciate this award.
Congratulations, Mr. Tinsey. You are truly an example of service to others. Next, we present our honorary alumni awards to two individuals whose exceptional support and friendship have inspired us to deem them officially Spartans. Our first honorary alumni recipient is Carl Benarski, President of Michigan Farm Bureau.
Hello, I'm Ernie Birchmeyer, and on behalf of Michigan Farm Bureau, I nominated Carl Bednarski for the Honorary Alumni Award. You know, many say that knowledge is nothing without context, and Carl's real-world knowledge allow him the ability to put context forward. This past year, when the industry worked together with Michigan State University to secure funding from the legislature for the MSU dairy farm and the MSU greenhouses, is a great example of how Carl will get all people into a room to work together towards a solution that not only benefits our farmers, but it benefits our industry, our consumers, and our university.
Well, when we take a look at our history, I mean, it goes back to where actually this organization, Farm Bureau, was started on the campus of MSU. And the thing is, so we've had this relationship with the land-grant university since our inception. And so it's easy for us to reach out to MSU, for the university to reach out to us, to give advice back and forth, and to give it in a constructive way. I mean, that's just the most important thing, is to understand we all want the same thing. And how do we go about getting it for everyone? And so at times we have to give and take, but it's a great process, and we respect each other very well. I'm very thankful and feel very honored to be the recipient of this award.
Our next honorary alumni recipient is Dr. Stephen Tatter, a neurosurgeon at Wake Forest and son of MSU alumni Jordan and Mary Tatter.
I'm Hannah Burak, and I nominated Dr. Stephen Tatter for the Honorary Alumnus Award. He helped shepherd a really transformational award to our department. And he did this on behalf of his parents, Jordy and Mary Tatter, who are both MSU alumni. When he first reached out, kind of cold call, reached out to us and said, we're really interested in figuring out a way to support the good work that the entomology department is doing. That's always the kind of call you want to get. So Steve said that he would like to see, if there was a Nobel Prize in entomology, someone from MSU being eligible for it every year.
So my dad got his bachelor's in the College of Agriculture and then a master's in entomology. And one of his advisors was Gordon Geyer. And they then were lifelong friends. My parents had always been huge Michigan State supporters. And so to have funds that the department chair could use to promote, to get projects off the ground or to promote someone, who's doing work that was going to make a difference. My mother and father were passionate about the importance of entomology, agriculture, and natural resources to our world. They believed that supporting Michigan State University was the best way to pursue that passion.
Congratulations to both Mr. Bernardsky and Dr. Tatter. We are honored to officially welcome you into the community of CANR Spartans, which began in 1855 and will carry on for generations to come. Thank you for all of your hard work and dedication to the college. Our next award is our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Award. This year's recipient is Eric Clark, Director of the Wildlife Program for the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians.
Hi, I'm Gary Roloff, and I nominated Eric Clark for the CANR Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Award. Eric's commitment to tribal students and the tribal community has really stuck with me. And I think one of the really neat things about Eric is he's not only committed to tribal interests and what the tribe is trying to do from a wildlife conservation perspective, but he truly cares about the conservation of the resource. Having Eric in that role helps us keep that relationship solid over time.
I really feel like I've been given a lot more than I've given back to this community. When we think about all the work that we've done with Michigan State University, in the Center for Cooperative Ecological Resilience and all these things where we're working to get opportunities for tribal members to both train people in our programs and getting tribal members in positions where they're taking on important decision-making roles and bringing those community knowledges that only the indigenous people here understand, bringing that to our not just the tribal natural resource management, but all natural resource management. Whether or not I'll be here forever, certainly this place will be with me forever.
Congratulations, Mr. Clark. Thank you for all your efforts to establish this partnership with the Sioux Tribe and the Department of Fisheries and Wildlife. Next, we present our Outstanding Alumni Awards to two alumni who have truly distinguished themselves through their impressive professional accomplishments. Our first Outstanding Alumni recipient is Mark I'm going to say the whole thing, Shepardigian, an MSU entomology alum and board-certified entomologist in urban and industrial entomology.
I'm Hannah Burak, and I nominated Mark Shepardigian, Shep, for the Outstanding Alumnus Award. Most people don't like to think about bugs, and they especially don't like to think about bugs in their house. But having someone who is willing to make those things a bit more accessible, a bit less frightening, and a bit more manageable can go a really long way. And you can kind of see that when you have Shep talk about the work that he does, the people element of the work that he does, the innovation that he's been able to bring into the industry. You can really see how that translates to a rapport and a level of comfort with just the general public.
Invasive insects every day coming around. Got to keep up at. I wanted to be Jacques Cousteau. So, well, I didn't want to be Jacques Cousteau, but I did want to hang out on a boat. So I was interdepartmental science at MSU thinking this ought to get me there when I took the introductory entomology course, Dr. Roland Fisher at the time. And it was amazing. He went through all of the insects and just opened up the whole thing to us. And after I took taxonomy and was able to identify most insects I could see down to family, that was it. I was hooked. I'm certainly grateful to the Alumni Association and for all that they do to keep the alumni connected to the university. Appreciate it.
Our next outstanding alumni recipient is Dennis Kruzek, an MSU Fisheries and Wildlife alum who has served as an endangered species specialist for the USDA Forest Service for the past 4 decades. Dennis is unable to join us in person today, but he has joined us virtually. Dennis and his wife will be announcing a major bat research grant in their names at Southeastern Bat Diversity Network in Alabama later today, which made traveling here and then back there rather difficult. So thank you for joining us virtually, and congratulations again to you, Dennis, and to you, Shep, on this honor. It's impressive to learn how you've advanced your respective industries, and it's a privilege to recognize your contributions here today.
Hi, I'm Greta Bowley, and I nominated Dennis Kruzek for the Alumni Award. About 4 years, I came to Atlanta to the regional office where he serves as the endangered species specialist. And Dennis has done an outstanding job. His passion for wildlife and natural resources is just amazing.
You know, a lot of people, when the federal government, you can retire, you know, with 55 years old and 30 years experience. And when I think about how much I've accomplished in the 13 years I've been eligible to retire, that wouldn't have happened. It's, you know, it's mind-blowing. You know, it's those things that you put in the extra work and people recognize it. And, you know, luckily, I came into the job with a great foundation, you know, from Michigan State to build from. I was surprised when I found that I you know, was an honoree. You know, that's good company to be with.
At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the Distinguished Service Awards. These are given by the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. There are 2 recipients this year. Our first distinguished awardee is David Wyrick, retired outreach specialist in the Department of Community Sustainability and Michigan FFA State Executive Secretary.
Hi, I'm Mark Forbush, and I nominated Dave Wyrick for the Distinguished Service Award. Well, there's no question Dave's first love was kids. So he did what he did because he did it for kids. And so, but that made connections to communities too. Yeah, I'm an ag teacher because I met him in high school when I was a kid, and he said I ought to be an ag teacher, and then I was an ag teacher. And I wasn't the only one he did that with. His tree grows out with different people he's impacted. There's no question his commitment to what he did was always 100%. You know, this wasn't a job, it was a mission for Dave. It was a calling for Dave. And he lived that every time he was doing that job for, well, essentially 45 years.
Well, I don't know if they were looking forward to me, but I sure look forward to seeing the kids. I worked with 16 state officer teams, and that, you know, that was the highlight of working in the job that I had here, was working with the kids, because I'm old and kids keep you young when you work with them. And I just thoroughly enjoyed working with young people. They would give me something to laugh about every day. I'm humbled and I'm thrilled to receive this, but you know, it's always good to see other people do well too.
Our next Distinguished Service awardee is Scott Piggott, CEO of Michigan Farm Bureau.
Hello, I'm Ernie Birchmeyer, and on behalf of Michigan Farm Bureau, I nominated Scott Piggott for the Distinguished Service to Agriculture Award. Scott is a catalyst. He's a catalyst for leadership. He's a catalyst for change. He's a catalyst for our industry, and he certainly has been a catalyst for MSU over his years. He's been very involved in a number of projects within the industry and outside of agriculture as well. He's a proud alumni of Michigan State University and has worked diligently to make sure that his roots and his heritage in the green and white continue to leave a legacy not only for our industry but for the university as well.
I've been so blessed for 23 years to be in the service of the farmer. The first guy that had my job was Clark Brody Hall on campus, and he wrote a whole book called In Service of the Farmer. And I've read it a lot over the years, and every time I find something different, and it means something different to me. He had a wonderful humility to him, kept on his desk every day. Harry Truman's quote of, amazing the things we can do if nobody cares about who gets the credit. And that's what you try to impart on all the folks I'm blessed to work with. It's really the farmers that we're intended to serve. So an honor to the individual staff. It's not something we seek, and humbled to get it.
Congratulations to both Mr. Wyrick and Mr. Piggott. We greatly appreciate your dedication and contributions to advance Michigan's agriculture and natural resources and the work for our college. At this time, I'd like to ask Dean Millenbaugh back to the podium to present our next awards.
Thank you, Lisa. When I was appointed to this position back in November of 2022, one of my first actions as the Dean of the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources was to institute the Dean's Pinnacle of Excellence Award. I am proud to personally nominate outstanding members of our college alumni community for this accolade, which is the highest one that I can bestow. It is an honor to present the Dean's Pinnacle of Excellence Awards to alumni who have obtained the highest levels of achievements in their field. Their outstanding professional contributions have brought great distinction to the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, and we are beyond proud to claim them as our own. I am so pleased to be awarding it today for the very first time to such deserving Spartans, to Dale Darling and to Larry Walker. These two inaugural recipients are just the type of alumni who inspired me to create this award. Now, Dale Darling, a two-time alum of our college and founder of Summit Premium Tree Nuts in California, will share a little bit about his experience and his career.
I grew up in southern Michigan on a dairy farm, and my grandfather and my father both went to Michigan State. I then went to Michigan State and did my brother and sister as well, and I did my bachelor's in animal science with a minor in economics, and then I did my master's in ag econ at Michigan State, and then really enjoyed dairy genetics growing up on the dairy farm, and got an opportunity to join up with a company out in Visalia, California, that handled about 70% of the world's exports of dairy genetics. I kind of wanted to settle down, and so I realized I needed to slow down on the extensive traveling, and so I joined up with a company called Blue Diamond Growers in Sacramento that processes and markets almonds around the world, and I directed their exports to about 50% of the world, again, handling Europe, Middle East, and Africa, and South America as well. Did that for 8 years, and my wife Judy and I decided in 2008 to start our own company, again, exporting almonds, and so we did. And so we have about 25 employees. We do annually about $500 million in sales to about 86 countries. And my family had did our trust as well, and so I set up some funds to come to Michigan State as well. It's a wonderful school, especially the College of Ag and Natural Resources is outstanding, and they've done a great job in preparing a lot of people, not just myself, but others throughout the state and the United States.
Dale's early College of Agriculture and Natural Resources experiences allowed him to soar in his career and showcase MSU throughout the world through his achievements, while still finding time to climb the world's tallest and most demanding mountains. Seriously, ask him about it. It is an honor to partner with Dale and help today's Spartans find opportunities to build their own exceptional careers with a solid College of Agriculture and Natural Resources foundation. Friends and guests, please join me again in recognizing Dale Darling with the Dean's Pinnacle of Excellence Award for a career that represents the extraordinary success and wide range of opportunities that a College of Agriculture and Natural Resources degree can offer. Our next inaugural honoree is Dr. Larry Walker, a retired Cornell University professor and 3-time MSU alum, serving as an adjunct professor in our own Department of Biosystems and Agricultural Engineering. Let's hear more about Larry in his own words.
So I grew up in Detroit, okay, and I went off to Michigan State in 1969 with a vague idea of what I wanted to do. I got my first degree in physics from Michigan State, but I was always looking for application area. Where could I have the biggest impact? And I was interested in an environmental issue. My mentor, Fred Bacher-Ackerman, who was a professor of agricultural engineering, convinced me that I could pursue some of my interests with regard to environment and what we now call sustainability. And he was absolutely right. And I was on the faculty at Cornell for 35 years. One of the things I've said time and time again, whether I'm addressing a Cornell audience or a Michigan State audience, is American universities are transformative. Okay. You go off to school thinking you're going to end up doing one thing, and you might end up doing something totally different. Okay. And that's reflects well on the flexibilities that you have in American universities that you don't see at many other universities. I'm very grateful for the college, not just for the award though. So in retirement, Michigan State has been a partner in some of the things that I want to see evolve in the area of sustainability, climate action. And so the important part of this for me is that I'm doing some things with Michigan State that I very much value.
Thank you for coming full circle here in the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Larry. We are honored to have Larry as a lifelong learner and educator, gifting a of students at Michigan State University, Cornell, and beyond with his insights and with his experiences. We value your partnership greatly, Larry, as you encourage students, faculty, and others at Michigan State University to tackle some of the challenges that face us all around the world. Please join me in once again congratulating Dr. Larry Walker with the Dean's Pinnacle of Excellence Award for his work as an innovator and as an educator who advances agriculture worldwide. We are proud to continue to partner with you in transforming lives. Congratulations again, Dale and Larry. We know your accomplishments will inspire future Spartans to dream big and work hard and give back to their communities, just as both of you have done. Now I'll turn things back over to Lisa, and she will conclude this afternoon's program.
On behalf of the entire ANR Alumni Association and College, congratulations to all of our award winners today. You are all amazing and have a profound impact on agriculture and natural resources. We are grateful for your service and proud to call you fellow CANR Spartans. I would also like to thank our Alumni Association corporate sponsors, Greenstone Farm Credit and Michigan Farm Bureau. Finally, I would like to say a special thanks to those who helped plan this event and to everyone who joined us once again to recognize this occasion in the company of friends. This concludes our formal program. To those joining us virtually, thank you for joining us today. To those here in person, we hope that you will stay and continue the celebration. Also, the flowers that are in the room, whether on your tables or this stage, all need to find new homes. So if some of you would take them home, we would kindly appreciate that. Lastly, let's give one more round of applause to all of today's award recipients. Go green.
Thank you.